Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi stressed Egypt's readiness to afford all means of support to host mega sports events. The president's remarks came during his meeting with the visiting IOC President Thomas Bach. Here are more details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received on Saturday Thomas Bach, the head of the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, currently on an official visit to Egypt heading a high-ranking delegation. The meeting was attended by Minister of Sports Ashraf Sobhi, Dr. Mustafa Braf, head of the African Olympic Committee, Hassan Mustafa, the head of the International Federation of Handball, and Hisham Hatab, the head of the Egyptian Olympic Committee. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radi said the president welcomed Bach, hailing the committee's pivotal role in boosting sports worldwide. The head of state stressed Egypt's readiness to afford all means of support to host mega sports events. President Sisi pointed to the state's efforts to modernize and upgrade sports infrastructure with all its facilities all over Egypt and to construct the Olympic city in the new administrative capital, as well as developing roads and means of transportation with the aim of encouraging citizens to practice sports and to host international tournaments of different games. For his part, Bach stressed that he is honored to meet with the president, hailing the historic role of Egypt as a pioneering African and Arab country in different individual and team sports. The head of the IOC also expressed his utmost admiration of the modern, full-equipped infrastructure owned by Egypt, reflected in its ability to organize a variety of international competitions. On top of the list was the Handball World Cup 2021, which was a role model for perfect organization despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Bach highlighted his visit to the Olympic City in the new administrative capital, stressing that it's considered one of the biggest sports cities, built according to the latest global standards, and enables Egypt to host huge sports events. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held summit talks on Saturday with the head of Sudan's ruling council, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, currently in an official visit to Egypt. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radi said the head of state stressed Egypt's keenness to afford Sudan with all forms of support to realize security as well as political and economic stability in Sudan in light of the deeply rooted and historic ties that bind the two nations. The president also hailed bilateral ties and asserted that Egypt is looking forward to boost them in all domains to realize the best interests of the Egyptian and Sudanese peoples. And for his part, al-Burhan expressed full appreciation to the Egyptian leadership and people, praising the extended bonds between the two brotherly states and the unlimited support Egypt always offers to the Sudanese side in all fronts. Radi also said the talks discussed a number of issues of mutual concern, including the latest developments in the Ethiopian development dam file, as both sides agreed to resume bilateral intensive consultations to achieve common interests. Under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, activities of the 33rd International Conference for Islamic Affairs Supreme Council kicked off Saturday under the theme of "Diligence is a Necessity of the Time." The conference is held with the participation of 200 ministers, muftis, intellectuals, and dignitaries. On behalf of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Endowments Dr. Mohammed Mukhtar Goma stated that the Islamic world is currently going through a very crucial stage, warning of the danger of giving fatwa without knowledge and stressing that violating the principles of beliefs only serves the forces of extremism. Goma also stressed that the conference will discuss a number of vital topics and important files, as well as several research prepared by scholars, expressing hope that the conference's recommendations will share in finding solutions for current crises. The conference is to witness expanded discussions on diligence as a necessity, as well as its different forms and rules. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli held an inspection tour on Saturday, following up on the pace of work in the Grand Egyptian Museum, the GEM, a
accompanied by a number of ministers and top executives. The Premier stressed the state's keenness to finish all construction works in the huge national project, which contains treasures of the Egyptian great civilization, as its opening will be a much anticipated event to attract tourists from all over the world. Madbouli also toured the surrounding area and gave his instructions to finish all the remaining developmental works in roads and access leading to the gym. The Prime Minister also watched a documentary entitled The Gym, Symbol of Eternity, narrating the different stages of building a museum by hundreds of Egyptians who work around the clock writing history, and the gym will be the biggest museum in the whole world. On the sidelines of his participation of the 77th round of the UN General Assembly, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, the President-designate of the UN Climate Change Conference COP27, held a meeting with the Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said Shoukry stressed that Egypt is totally aware of the increasing damages witnessed by those countries due to climate change, including storms, typhoons, tornadoes, drought, with all the resulting human and economic losses. Egypt top diplomat also referred to the unofficial rounds of discussions held by the Egyptian presidency of COP27 on the 10th and 11th of September, which aimed at sharing visions and coordinate negotiations regarding losses and damages resulted from climate change.